Hello everyone, welcome to another video of FFL 24/7. Today's video we are going to be taking another look at PayPal stock and why we are going to be taking a look at PayPal stock, because if you guys have noticed today's price action, we saw some very exciting movement happening towards the market open, and then we kind of crashed back down to 61.8. So some of you might be thinking what just happened to PayPal and if it was all about a pump and dump, and we are going to be going back down again. So I want to share a very few important updates for you that you guys want to pay attention to. So this is the candle that we are talking about for today. So we opened at around $62.94 and we peaked at around almost 64.13, and then we closed at around $61.8. So why that happened? So we did point out in our last video, so there is a whole lot going on. So this is obviously the horrible looking chart of PayPal that we are looking at. So there is obviously a whole lot going on, but the area that we want to focus on is around this area here. So all of a sudden this might be looking very confusing to you guys, but let me break it down real quick. So what is actually going on? So this is what I want you guys to take a look at. So if you guys notice, so this line at $65, so we already knew that $65 is going to be a kind of a very hard resistance for us to break. And why? Because we are in a downward channel. This is like a downward resistance for us that we haven't been able to break out above since August 2022. So obviously even now this line is still playing a role. So there were actually three very strong reasons that $65 is going to be a very hard resistance for us to break. So why? One is obviously this red trend line that we haven't been able to break through. And the second is we have this very strong resistance at $65 that we have seen around here on September 2023 and around here June 2023. So this is obviously a very hard resistance. And not just that, if you guys notice this blue line, so this is a very critical 200-day moving average that is also coinciding at around the same area, around the $65. So this region around here is very hard resistance for us to break through. So what is going to happen next? So you guys might be noticing these lines that I have drawn. So this is kind of a wave pattern that PayPal is maybe trying to form. So this is what I am seeing happening. So if you guys have noticed, we have been respecting these two trend lines. These are on, even though they are in the downward direction, but they are obviously playing out very nicely for PayPal. If you guys notice, we have these very smooth touch points at around exact on these two lines. So we are kind of being squeezed down slowly into this channel, but there is going to be eventually a point that it has to make a decision either in the upward or the downward direction. But so far how the things are looking, and what is most likely going to be the case, is that we most likely have bottomed at around $50.25 for PayPal at around 27th of October 2023. So this is most likely going to be the bottom that we are going to be basing at for the time being. But for now, what I see happening is we may see a little bit of pullback back down to around $57 area. The reason we are doing all this discussion is so we want to make I want to explain to you guys how we are going to be able to reach to $76, because this is where I see PayPal is heading. But it is obviously not going to be a direct move towards $76. It is going to be a hilly ride for us until we get there. So far what I am seeing happening is that this is $65 is obviously a very hard resistance for us to break, because we have three critical points meeting up here. So what I am thinking is that because since they cannot they might not be able to break all these three strong points of resistance at the same time, they may try to break it down. And how is that possible? So that is possible by naturally letting this downward trend go through and break them one at a time. So this is what I am seeing. Maybe we might see a pullback to maybe around the $57 area. Worst case scenario, we might be touching back down this line again, but so as of now I am not seeing that happening. So what I am seeing is, because this area around $57, we seem to have formed a strong support in here in this area. And if you guys notice, so we did consolidate around this area in this region around October and September, and again in November and December we consolidated around this region and area. So $57 will definitely provide us some kind of support, and from there I see this, at least the first target would be this trend line breaking. So this downward trend line that we haven't been able to break through, this is where I see the first point they will try to break it. And the second is obviously going to come, maybe this blue 200-day moving average will meet us at some point in here, and then the third will be obviously this $65 resistance. So this is what I am seeing happening, that they may not be able to break all of these three strong resistances at the same time. They may try to target it one at a time in around here. And so what I see happening is, if you are able to break above $65, $69 is going to be our next target, which is where I see PayPal might be heading. And why $69? Because we have seen a clear signal marked out in the graph in around June 2023 for us. So this will be a first stopping point. So price may struggle here a little bit, and from there I am seeing we will possibly be doing a test of $65 again from 69, and then we will be heading towards the $76 area. So to explain in a little bit better way, let me draw this line so you guys can clearly see what I exactly mean. So this is what I mean. So as soon as we hit $69, so I am seeing the price heading back down to $65 to do a little bit of test, and then from there we might be heading towards the $76 area. So this is how I think the price is going to play out at $76. So, and this is not just some random lines that we are just drawing and coming to a conclusion of $76. If you guys take a closer look, so this is all just building up nicely. So if you notice this pattern, we might be, if we happen to hit this $57, we are going to be forming about a very nice inverse head and shoulders pattern that puts us very nicely, if it breaks out, to perfectly around the $76 area mark that we are targeting. So this is all just lining up very nicely for things to play out. So that is how I came to this conclusion, that we are heading towards the $76 area, and we are kind of forming a hidden inverse head and shoulders pattern. And because we do see a pullback around $57, so that will obviously support our thesis even more. And that's not all, guys. So another reason I think might be also helping us push toward the $76 mark is, if you guys notice, at exactly around this point area where I have $69 pointed out, we have the earnings coming up. So earnings for our Q4 2023 are going to be announced around the same area, and this is what I think we might be seeing a little bit of a pushback and to do a $65 retest, and then we will be heading towards $76 when we have more clarity next year. So recently there was also a very huge announcement that was done by PayPal and SAP. So apparently they have partnered to simplify digital payments for their businesses. So if you guys have followed the news, so PayPal and SAP, they have launched an expanded integration to simplify digital payments for SAP customers. So this is kind of huge guys. So both of companies are combining their customers together and collaborating on a huge business. There is like a whole lot of potential, and also this is going to be helping a lot for their financial firm that is called Braintree platform, that PayPal has been getting a lot of backlash for, and also eventually that I think this may be a very successful financial digital payments processing business for PayPal. So in the coming futures coming through. So this is all I wanted to quickly share with you guys about PayPal. So guys, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.